I think a lot of young people right now feel super discouraged by what world they're heading into once they're done with school and college. They might feel like there's nothing they can do, you know? But I really think it's important that young people understand that this is our world. This is what we're going to control once you have the education and the resources to do it. And it can start right now by voting, by getting involved in your community. And that's what I'm aiming to do by working with you.
Shaylyn, introduce yourself, please.
Hi guys, my name is Shaelyn. So I am a junior at UC Davis studying environmental policy and planning. My ultimate goal is to be an environmental consultant. In my spare time, I ride my horse every day, I compete, and I spend a lot of time outside. We've lived down the road from Bug for a while now, but have never met him until our package was delivered to his house. And we seem to have similar interests. So, Bug, can you tell us what is Reclamation Road?
Well, first of all, here's to synchronicity and serendipity. And Reclamation Road is about reclaiming kind of the heart and soul of America. There are going to be over 4 million 17-year-olds that will turn 18 before the election.
Yeah.
And we would love for every one of those to make their vote count and get somebody to count their vote. I had a delightful friend, Chief Dan George, for many, many years. I lived on the mud flats just down the street from the Burrard Reserve, where he was the chief of the Salish tribe. And he kept trying to teach me that we do not inherit this earth from our ancestors. We are the caretakers of this earth for our children.
Right.
And boy, so far, we ain't doing a very good job.
Recently, the EPA under the Trump administration recalculated how harmful emissions were. And when they did that, they completely discounted the harm that would come to future generations. So they ended up producing a number that showed far less harm because they just didn't care about anybody in the future, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, how can you say that?
The nonprofit that is Reclamation Road, its focus is the November 3rd election. Let's fix it. Now
Right.
that's about straight up as it gets. Ah, the DNA of things. Here is a very pointed scenario. On the left is the DNA of hemoglobin, to wit, human blood.
Yeah.
And here in my right hand is the DNA of chlorophyll. And they are exactly the same except for one thing. What is that?
Well, they're iron and magnesium, but Bug, a lot of things are really similar like that, right? I mean, we use rats in the lab to study humans because we're also really similar, but I'm not a rat. So how else are trees so essential?
I mean, for example, the redwood tree around where we live here. It lives by the coast for a particular reason. They've been here since the Jurassic era. They survived that comet 66 million years ago. Trees as beings are the most selfless being on the planet. The essence of tree is so selfless and giving. What can we do to help save the planet? Well, the planet will be fine. The planet will be fine without us. And that's what might end up saving the planet.
Right, so there's actually been evidence too that we're reaching a tipping point. And once we get there, the planet won't be able to recover. We're gonna die, but it's gonna enter a cycle where it's just gonna get worse and worse and hotter, and it won't be able to get out of it. So if we don't act soon, nothing is gonna survive. So our health depends on the health of our home, of everything that we're surrounded by.
Yeah.
And COVID is really showing that. I mean, the people who are living in polluted places, places where the water has been diverted, are the ones really suffering, with the rest of the world not able to give them any sort of help.
Who's got the magic answer?
Right.
You know, we need everybody to embody their own environment.
Right, and we need to elect officials that are going to trust the experts and invest in the science and the facts, right? That's what's going to get us to where we want to be.
Yes.
Not trying to go back to some regressive society that won't live up to whatever standards we think it will. You know, we need to move forward into this new age of clean energy, and we need politicians that know how to get us there, or will at least try to help us get us there and not try to stagnate that growth.
Neither COVID, nor hurricanes, nor lightning storms, nor forest fires can stay these couriers from their appointed rounds unless somebody doesn't want them to vote.
Yeah, or unless we keep Trump in office.
The interesting thing about the post office, I think, is that it needs to be fixed, and it runs on an ancient sort of program that was set in place in the post office when it was first begun. And somebody does need to fix it, but I find it somewhat suspect that Louis DeJoy, who probably has the credentials of somebody who could fix it, bringing him in to start dismantling the things that don't work well in the post office just before an election.
Well, right, and we've seen this a lot with Trump, that he brings in people that have donated a lot of money to his campaign, might even have interests contrary to the institutions they're running, and then they run it into the ground. So we need someone in charge who is going to appoint people that have the merits, the qualifications, the desire to do well by the institutions they're running. So, and we're not seeing that with the post office. So right now we need to make sure that people are voting really, really early. They're doing everything they can to make it as easy on our postal workers as possible to get the votes in and to have the time to do it despite whatever is going on at the top to try to stop that.
One of the things you can do is wander right into the post office and buy $50 worth of stamps, and they're forever stamps. So not only that, but a year from now, inflation's changed everything. Well, the stamps are going to be more expensive, and the stamps you got still work then. So go buy some stamps. Go buy $50 worth. If 5 million people bought $50 worth, the post office would have 250 million.
Yeah. Or even $5 or $10.
Yes,
you know?
$5. If 50 million people buy $5 worth. And then, whatever you do, put that stamp on an envelope and send a cool message to your friend. Everybody still loves to get a piece of snail mail. Our post office is part of the fabric of this country.
No, it really is. I mean, I save all the cards I get from people. You know, I mean, you can have text, but having someone's handwriting on a letter is so special.
I gotta tell you, the message is the medium, and your presence and your intelligence and your passion is going to really inspire me to grow this, to take this to bigger places and more places.
I just really hope that people my age will not let this horrible future that we're going into discourage them from trying to change it, from trying to take action, from voting, from getting involved in their community. Because I think if everyone participates and if everyone puts in that effort, then we are going to create a good future. You know, we're going to create the world that we want to live in.
We need every single one of you to get involved, to embrace the fabric of your country, and let us foment the change we want to see.
Right.
And thank you so much. I feel so blessed to have you as a neighbor. I'm so honored to meet you, and you are the harbinger of our future.
It's been a pleasure, Bud. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Yeehaw!